Hello, hi, how are you? Welcome to the MotoGP Podcast, last on the brakes, lockdown last on the brakes, as we still are. Me with the lovely wallpaper, Fran with the lovely rock garden behind her, as ever, bringing you another interview. Today we got Danilo Petrucci on the show, Ducati factory rider, former police cadet, and just apparently all-round global philanthropist as well, as we find out in this episode. Isn't that right, Fran?
Yeah, there's some good little bits in our Kenwood Quickfire section, which comes at the end, as always. This week it's word association. There's a couple of them that are really, really great. Some of them a little funnier. Some of them quite deep thinking, like you said. Some good philosophy going on there. But it was a great chat. Hope you enjoy this. Danilo Petrucci, I think everyone has a soft spot for him because he's sort of such an everyman, but has achieved some really incredible things. Not least, of course, that win at Mugello, which apparently he doesn't really remember much of that. Such a dream, was it?
I do remember it, though, and I will not be ashamed to admit that I did shed a tear or two when I watched him climb aboard that podium.
Yes,
but at least he won't remember that. It was an emotional
time.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll get on with the show, shall we?
Anyone who did get overly emotional at Danilo on that Sunday, you're fine.
Yeah.
You can just move on.
You can just, it's absolutely fine. Danilo won't judge you for it because he doesn't remember it, bless him. But really appreciate him and the team sorting this out for us. Apologies for various video issues. He's actually in the process of moving house, and so Wi-Fi issues are rife there. And the only other issue in his life at the moment is a lack of motorcycle races. So life's going pretty well for Danilo Petrucci.
Not so bad, exactly. So yeah, enjoy a little bit of a longer, more in-depth chat with everyone's... I mean, what can you say? Everyone's favourite Italian is rude to the others. But no, one of everyone's favourite and certainly one of the friendliest riders in the paddock. So you are at your parents' house then and staying with them. How are you in lockdown at the moment? Sounds like you've got a few stressful things going on, but how are you coping without races? Like we heard recently, we're going to have hopefully an attempt to have some races at Jerez, so it's getting closer. But what have you been doing in this time?
Sincerely, I think I am the only one that in lockdown I always been busy because the weather was nice, and especially I'm lucky because I live in the country, so I have some field, and at least I can breathe some fresh air during the day. And unfortunately, no riding bikes. In the last 2 days, I moved my house. I live in Forlì, where Dobby lives. But I wanted to change my house, always there in the area near Misano. For understand, but now it's impossible to do everything. So I have plenty of boxes full of my things in the garage here in my parents' house, and then I sincerely don't know. I just read this morning that maybe there can be 2 races in Jerez in July. I think will be very, very hot. We have to say this. I'm scared. Since this morning, I'm always thinking about riding in Jerez at 2:00 during July. It was already very, very difficult in May this period, but in July. But at the end, we have a lot of time to have training. Maybe tomorrow tomorrow I can go on my bike again, my enduro bike, and on Sunday we have a training together with Andrea with our motocross bike.
Awesome. That sounds good. What sort of heat acclimatization training can you do? Like, what does it take? How do you prepare for something like that? I guess you get a bit of practice for Malaysia and Thailand, but Jerez, this would be a bit different.
Yeah. Always. It's very, very stressful, the racing Jerez, especially with MotoGP bikes, because the straights are so short and you have no time for rest. But anyway, it's a challenge more. We have a lot of these, I think, this year. And then, I think we can enjoy the summertime in Italy, having training. So we are better fit for Jerez in July if we can race there.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously this is a different kind of time we're spending at home, but normally what is your life like away from the track? You're near Forlì, obviously near Misano, there's a lot of motorcycle culture there, but what is your life normally like when you're not having to travel to a race weekend with training, being at home and family?
Yeah, essentially, the situation in Italy has been very, very difficult since the beginning for this coronavirus. But fortunately, I live in the only region where the virus has attacked less. I mean, we have very, very few people affected. And this is good because maybe in 10 days we can rejoin our normal life. So, for sure, I have been locked down, but I spent a lot of time here at home with my parents, and I enjoy a lot because it was I think since 2010 that I start to travel a lot, and I never had a lot of time like this for spending time with my parents. So it has been great for this because every morning we have breakfast together, same for dinner, and the weather was nice, but for sure I miss a lot the I don't know, the spark,
the excitement,
the thing, the excitement. I think a lot how it is the normal life. I try a normal life, but I think I am still in love with racing, and I miss a lot the racing, and especially I miss my bike because since I was 3 years old, I think I spent a lot of days on my bike, and this period has been the longest of my lifetime without bikes.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, it's good, the situation here in Terni. Fortunately, I don't know anyone that is affected by the virus, and this is a really, really good thing.
That's nice.
Unfortunately, in the north of Italy, the situation has been very, very difficult. The area around Milan, Bergamo, and unfortunately, I have a lot of friends there. But everyone is okay, and this is the most important thing. And then for sure we always think about joining the paddock again and join our normal life again.
Absolutely,
definitely. So we think of a couple of years ago, you said more recently in an interview that a few years ago you thought about giving up MotoGP and walking away from the sport, obviously before Ducati factory contract and everything you've achieved. Does this experience make you think about that again without MotoGP in your life? Do you think, okay, maybe actually I still love this too much?
Yeah, I have to be sincere. I just switch the mindset for some period during this time, thinking about how is the life without MotoGP. I mean, I woke up in the morning, the weather was nice and not so stressful days, but like during an injury, you have time to comprehend what's your needs during your life. And I think I still need my bike. I am too much competitive. And I tried everything during this period, even bike trainer online races every Saturday. And I bought a race simulator, a car simulator for driving, for doing everything. Essentially, I don't have so much training with the MotoGP game, but I have to because my races are not so good. But I'm trying, and but I miss a lot. I miss a lot racing and everything regarding bikes and wheels. So yeah, I was this time was like a time without racing, like you have an injury. And during my career, the only time I wanted to quit my career, I remember so well because I was in Jerez 2014. I say this to my mom after qualifying. I start to crying and saying I have enough. I have enough of this world. I don't like anymore riding the bikes. And she said, "Okay, give a last try tomorrow morning. Just finish the race." But during the warm up, I fractured my bone, and during that time I discovered that I even miss racing like this. I mean, I was fighting every time for not finish last, and was not my dream. But I miss even that feeling. So yeah. I want that this year I want to complete my career. I mean, I want to become better and better like I did every year.
That's a really interesting story, because I think when riders are faced with that situation where they're already thinking about giving up, and then on the exact same day pretty much, or the day just after where they're thinking of giving up, they have a crash which gives them a brutal injury, I think it'd be all too easy for you to just go, yep, this is why I want to quit. Really interesting how you went the other way. Did you instantly go the other way and think, I actually want to do this? Or did it take a couple of weeks into the injury of that boredom of waiting at home for you to decide that?
Yeah, it was strange that time, because I was like someone looking down and deciding something, because it was really strange. Was strange also in 2016. I got an injury and I was performing very good during testing, so it was very different. But it's really stressful to be a MotoGP rider, because you don't have the chance to ride your bike so much. And especially every time you ride your bike, you are really under the lens. I mean, everyone is watching you, and everyone is. We have every time a classification, so it's very easy to say you have been good or you have been bad. And you have this every day, so it's like an action every day. But it's my dream, and I wanted to feel myself more satisfied during my lifetime, and I'm still not. I won a race, but it's not my dream. I want to win more, and I'm here for this. If I don't think this, I already quit. I mean, I have the chance to maybe change my life, or changing specialty, because I told many times that I am really interested to switch my career to the rally, because it's really different between MotoGP and rally. I mean, start every morning, and you see again your mechanics at the evening. You have to do everything by yourself. But I feel I'm still not completed in MotoGP. I want to show myself what's my limit. And when I understood this, or maybe when there is no space for me in MotoGP, I decide to change. But if even this year will be shorter, but I have a good chance to perform, and I want to do it 100%.
That's a good philosophy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you said about always being under the lens, and even at private tests now, sometimes there can be a journalist or someone with a team. Information is everywhere. How do you deal with that pressure as well? Because sometimes you've had some amazing strings of results, and then you've had a little bit sort of mid top 10, then come back again. How do you manage that day to day with so much chaos and noise in the paddock?
Yeah, for sure. I was not happy about last year, because the difference between the first part and the second half has been very, very high. The gap has been quite high. I was fighting for the top 3 in the first part, and in the second part I was in the top 10, but not really competitive. And I tried to give an explanation to myself, especially, and but there is nothing really important that I find. I haven't a solution or a reason why in the second part of the championship I was not really competitive. This was maybe because in the last 3 years I have always been a 1-year contract, and I always proved to Ducati and proved to Pramac and proved to myself that I am able to ride in a factory team. And I maybe gave too much in the first 7 months of last year. And I woke up after suctioning the Monday after. I beat Dovi the day before, and I watched the championship, and I was third, 4 points to Dovi. And I say, maybe I can be the rider that can fight with Mark. But maybe I felt too much pressure in the second part. I start to not think too much, but riding with too much strength, with too much instinct, and I always give 101%, and I made stupid crashes or stupid mistakes. And in MotoGP, for me, the top 3, you have to be always 100%. You cannot be 98% or 97%, because if you are fighting for the top 3, immediately you fly down till 8th, 9th, or 10th place. Maybe it was too much pressure I put to myself, because I never watched the classification before that.
Wow. When you're in that situation, when you don't know necessarily, like you're still trying to find the reasons why your form dipped at the end of last year, how are you able to reset for this year then? Have you just done have you taken a different approach, or what's going through your mind for this year then?
Yeah, like I told you, there is no mathematic explanation, unfortunately, because unfortunately we are not like a bike that we can plug in a USB connector and say, "Oh, Danilo, you have a problem," and we fix.
So true.
I would like it, because sometimes I'm just exploding my head, and I don't understand why.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah, but during winter time, we just analyze what's happened day by day, what's changing in my mindset, what's changing in my approach between the first and the second part. So with the people I have around me, and it's always difficult during the championship for the people you have your side. It's very difficult to comprehend really the situation because you are fully in, and you don't recognize from the outside that you are doing something wrong. But yeah, day by day, I start my training plan again. I start to feel better, to feel good, and I remember so well in Qatar was that maybe the first test that I really work on myself, and I say I don't caring about the lap time. I don't want to use the soft tire. I don't want to do a flying lap because it's not useful. I want to set up really better the bike, and it works because I did the race simulation. I was maybe one of the only to do it straight 22 laps, and at least I did one race during this year. At the moment,
yes.
I was completely alone. But
so you won.
I did.
You won then.
120 kilometers straight. But jokes apart, I was ready to fight again because this year I think there is the highest level of ever. We saw the lap times during the testing, and maybe we are sometimes 15, 16 rider in a second, top 10 riders in a 4/10. So I think will be the hardest season, and not only because I don't have the contract for next year, but especially because we are a lot of riders competing for the podium.
Yeah, the timesheets in testing looked amazing, which is almost making it even worse that we can't now go racing. But let's rewind a little bit then. That's you now, factory Ducati rider, Grand Prix winner, which we will mention. But you had a really unique way to MotoGP as well, in super stock machinery and then on CRT bikes when you got to MotoGP. How was your approach then? What was it like riding a machine and knowing that maybe points or near the top 10 was an amazing result? And how is that different to how you race and think about it now?
Yeah, it's I must say that was always difficult because when I start my career in MotoGP, yeah, like you said, was a result in the points was already good, and now I have to stay on the podium more or less or all the races for be a factory rider, you know. And I remember so well, and at the beginning of my career in MotoGP, I was complaining a lot because I haven't a very competitive bike. But now that I have a really competitive bike, I complain about the level of my opponent. So the life is always hard in MotoGP.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, at the beginning everything was new, and I was no experience. I have no experience with a GP bike because I nearly don't know any track. I didn't know the tires, the bikes. I didn't know my level, especially. But I didn't give up, and maybe this was my biggest achievement, because during that year it was really difficult. I think I am the only one the only one rider still existing after the CRT era. So I'm still here, and it's still difficult. But now I remember so well the approach I went to the races some times ago was I always pray for the rain. 3-4 years ago, because it was the only moment that I could fight with the top guys. And now since I joined the Pramac team, I go to every race with the wheel for fighting for the podium. And you go at races with another feeling. I must say it's really, really much better now.
Yeah, I bet. Does it feel like then that you would like to be, when in the future, when your career is a memory, would you like to be remembered as the man who never gave up? That sounds like that's how you sort of identify yourself within your head?
Yeah. I always say that I'm a dreamer, but I haven't given up. Even the feeling was. Sometimes I must say that I have to be clear that I told you that I want to give up, and was even my switch to the factory team was very, very heavy, because fighting with Jorge, five-time world champion. It was like an ant fighting with an elephant. I felt like this.
Yeah.
I mean, I was not giving up, but I said how I can fight with Jorge. But day per day, I start to believe in me, and then fortunately Ducati decided to take me from Pramac the day that Jorge won the first race, and actually that day was like a sliding doors. And because
that's good analogy.
Then I start to think I have to win with that bike now. Because Jorge did, and I have to be like him. But it was difficult to think at the moment in 2018 that I was able to win a race in Mugello like he does at the end. He won more races, but I have still this year. But it's not my target. My career is not comparing at all with Jorge's career. I won a race. He won 5 championships. So we fight a lot during this year. But for sure we have 2 different stories. And maybe I would like to be reminded like a man that never give up.
It's a nice accolade.
It's good. Yeah. It's nice. It's nice. Even if a rainman is good, but I have to win one race under the rain.
Danilo, you will always be the man.
True, actually.
You're an Italian who won on a Ducati in Mugello and just painted that place red. Like you can never get rid of that. It's such an awesome thing to be able to say. I just wanted to ask quickly. Like, we got a couple more questions, and we do have a quick fire round for you at the end. But I was surprised to hear that it wasn't your dream to win at Mugello, because that was sort of what all the headlines and stuff were based around. How was that then, with all these people saying, Danilo, how do you feel? You've achieved your dream. And you're like, yeah, it's one of my dreams, but actually I want something else. What's that like?
Yeah, the problem was that winning the first race in front of your farm, because I had hundreds of people coming from my hometown watching me that day with a Ducati in Mugello was too big to understand. I have to be clear.
Yeah.
And I still didn't realize the sporting achievement to win a race. And because that day, after the checkered flag, like a bomb exploding inside myself, and especially not only inside but even outside, because everything was everyone was just going crazy. I dream for I don't remember how long, but to win in Mugello. And then when I step up on the podium, I simply don't remember anything. I just have some flash images of the people, of the crowd, but your a life passing through your eyes. It's unbelievable, and I'm really worried because I don't remember a lot of things. I'm really worried. I have just 4 or 5 images of that day. I remember so well when I come back home and I hug my mom for 3-4 minutes. But when I was in the paddock, everyone pulling me from a side to another, and I remember so well that after the podium, the feeling that I had was to close myself in a dark room with silence and to stay there for understand what I did. But for 3-4 weeks was completely a mess.
You never got the chance.
I can imagine. I can't imagine at all. But looking from the outside, it looked like, I think it's maybe the craziest experience I've ever seen anyone else have, because it was just everything combined, and it was great to see. It was a pleasure to see it, but I can imagine it was quite crazy,
overwhelming.
Exactly. I mean, I was quite overwhelmed, and it's not like, you're my friend and we hang out all the time, and then after 20 years we even say you're like, oh. So I can't imagine being in the middle of it. But okay, we have one more off-topic question, because one of the trivia kind of things about you is that you were a police cadet, right?
Yeah.
And we believe this came from, was it from Loris Capirossi, a little bit of inspiration there? Or what was your kind of feeling, and how did you do that at the same time as building a career as a motorcycle racer?
I was. I told many times that Loris was my hero. Especially because my father used to work in that team. We was like a sliding doors even in this time, because my father starts to work with Team Pilleri, where Loris was racing at the beginning of '91, and I was born in late '90s. So in late '90. So after 2 or 3 months, my father starts to work in MotoGP paddock, and then for sure he worked with Loris till '95. So from 0 to 5 years old, I just have all my room with Loris Capirossi. Yeah, Loris. I want to become like Loris, I always say. And then I grew up, and I said Loris was a policeman during his career, and there was in 2010 this opportunity to become a policeman, for sure in the sports group. And I start to ask, and finally I become a policeman in 2011. And I was a policeman till 2017. I quit my police career in 2018 because I leave my place to another young rider, and that because the police in Italy helps you during your career. So I said, okay, I am enough. I don't need any more this help. It's better that this help goes to another rider that needs from the smaller category. I think actually my place has been took to Caricasulo, the rider superbike.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I haven't the chance to I never had the chance to race with Loris because he quit at the end of 2011, and I start 3 months later at the beginning of 2012. So this maybe is I have to became a MotoGP rider 1 year earlier for share the track with Loris. But anyway, I'm a good friend with him, and we have the opportunity to talk with him every days and every race.
Exactly. It's better. You're closer than you ever thought.
He's still in the paddock, so.
Yeah.
Okay,
right,
so final round then.
On?
Yes.
Final round, right. So at the end, we usually do what's called the Kenwood Quickfire, brought to us from sponsor Kenwood.
Have you got a dog there, Danilo?
Has a dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
A dog.
Don't worry, I was just like, is there a dog here?
Even during the virtual race.
Yeah, actually I heard
it.
Hello, dog.
Okay, so yeah, from our sponsor Kenwood, sponsor the podcast, and we do a segment with them at the end that's kind of either quick fire questions, or we thought with you we would do word association. So we'll say one word and then you have to say the first thing that you think of.
Okay.
So we'll please try and keep it clean, but also feel free to not just be super PC.
Okay.
We'll do one word each, shall we? Okay, are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Fran, you first.
Okay, so friend.
Friend, I must say Enrico, my tall friend that coming with me at the races.
With the Jesus beard, yes.
Yeah, Jesus beard. Yeah.
Okay, next word then. Rival.
Rival. Oh, the MotoGP rider. Maybe Mark. Mark.
So, what do you think when I say police?
Police. Now I say Piero because he's still a policeman. Michele is still a policeman.
Excellent. What about the word race?
Race. I immediately think about the light going off from red, going off and start the race. The name is not the traffic light. We don't have the traffic
start
light.
Lights.
Start lights.
Start light. Okay, start light.
Excellent.
Okay, what's the next one? Race.
No, we've done race. Bike.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, how did that happen? The next one is bike.
Ducati.
What about the word hot?
Malaysia.
What about speed?
Speed, I must think about the straight in Mugello.
Italy.
Mugello.
Passion.
Passion. I don't know why I think about the red. I don't know why the red is the color of the passion. I don't know why, but I imagine immediately red.
Excellent. Where is hate is the next one.
Hate. Uh, I think I ate testing. I ate good to go testing.
But you had such a good guitar test.
Okay, next one. Cold.
Phillip Island in the morning.
Okay. Love.
Love. I imagine immediately loving my life, of the life we are doing. I think we have to be in love with our life.
Oh.
That's a good quote. Okay, next one. Dovizioso.
A friend, but a friend, a rival, a teammate, a good person, a bastard, a lot of things.
Okay, Mugello.
Mugello, a lot of things. My first win.
Peace.
Peace, the thing we need. I always think peace about. I remember Valentino did one time a helmet like with peace, and with peace flag. But peace is. I think that we need in the world, but it's a very, very big word. It's difficult to comprehend, because I think in our world there is never been 100% peace, unfortunately.
Awesome. Competition.
Racing.
Home.
Italy.
Pasta.
I can say Italy again.
Yeah. And the next one?
Valentino.
Another idol, I think.
Nice. Freedom.
Freedom, most beautiful thing in the world.
Rain.
Rain. I always wait the rain, but if I have to think about the rain, I think about some racing under some race under the rain that are very, very long. But if I think about the rain, I think about calm and relax. I always, when it's raining, I always feel very, very calm.
Okay. Last one then. Victory.
I think that I have to do again.
Number 2. Great.
I say victory, maybe a big trophy.
Nice. Well, that is it then. Kenwood Quickfire done for another one. Those are some great answers. I like what you said about peace. So I think we can call you Danilo Petrucci and world philanthropist as well.
If you remember, in 2014, I did the MotoGP photo with a cap with here the saying love here. If you watch the 2014 group photo, I have this cap with saying love here.
Okay, we're gonna look for that then. Try and dig it out the archive.
Yeah, you have to.
Awesome. Well, I tell you what, this has been really good fun. I feel like I've gotten to know you a bit better, and thank you very much for all the laughs and the smiles there. That's been really fun.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hopefully the move continues to go smoothly, and hopefully we see you in a couple of months, as was announced today. Hopefully.
I hope so. In the old Jerez.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
So enjoy training and heat acclimatization. Maybe you need to sleep in like 5 sleeping bags or something to prepare for that.
For sure.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we'll leave you to it, and we'll speak to you later.
Much. We'll speak.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hope to see you soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Ciao, ciao.
So thanks for joining us once again for another lockdown edition of Last on the Brakes. And thank you so much for his time to Danilo Petrucci. That was a really good little chat. I certainly enjoyed it, and we hope you did too.
Absolutely. And next week, well, we haven't actually got any guests lined up for next week at the time of recording. There's Stewie at the moment, so we're going to be getting on that and bringing you another lockdown Last on the Brakes and next Monday, as always, to hopefully keep you entertained. Please, one favour for us, if you did enjoy the podcast, please recommend it to one MotoGP friend. Only one. You don't have to recommend it to lots of people, just one. And that would be absolutely
I would
wonderful.
ask for more. I think you should at least 900 to 1,000 people.
Your entire Facebook friends.
Exactly.
What is it? Database? Don't do anything with your friends' databases.
Yeah,
we should probably just leave. See you next Monday.
Bye.